And we back like we never left. You are listening to Dynamics on the Hardwood here. I'm Livezone. That's Mazzi. We got a Jersey day here for you. I'm obviously rocking the 23 in North Carolina. Mazzi, looks like you're rocking with the Gronkowski. I like it. I like it.
I'm wearing the Gronkowski because I don't have an Iowa State jersey yet, and that's the only team I'm rocking with right now.
All right, all right. So we're gonna be switching it up a little bit in the dynamics of the hardwood. We're gonna look at the college side of things right now because we got March Madness going on, the best basketball tournament of all time here on Livezone Sports. Mazzi, I just want to know, what have you picked up so far on March Madness, whether it be teams doing good, teams doing bad, draft stock going up, draft stock going down, hot takes, etc. Let me hear it.
Well, the first thing I've noticed is I got to move to back to a state where I could bet legally on sports and not do fantasy anymore. I'm sick of these fantasy stats that need to bet overs and unders on the games and be able to make some damn money. Because I
Fair.
don't know how these kids are going to play day in and day out. One day they drop 50 points combined, points, rebounds, assists. The next day they drop four. Dude out of Oakland, I to be honest, I have no idea how you pronounce his name. How you pronounce his name again? The dude that made 10 threes in the game, went 10 for 20. Oakland over
Jack
Kentucky.
Jack Goki.
Yep, Golkey.
Okay.
Golkey, uh, player performance of the tournament so far. They don't win that game without his 30 points. I think they don't win that game without not, if he makes 8 threes in that game, they still lose the game. He made 10 threes, and that's the reason why they won that game. And it was so competitive. He had 7 of them in the first half alone to put them in the game going into half and make Kentucky sweat. Kentucky's not the juggernaut that we thought they were way back when. They definitely weren't this year. We didn't have that expectation. It didn't have the feel of true Kentucky team. As for the one seeds going on here in the tournament so far, Houston, UConn, North Carolina, Purdue. I am liking what I'm seeing from each one. They're all still alive here. They're all still vying for the Final Four. I don't think they've made any large mistakes. I think the teams that we knew were going to be good have been good. I think there's been some really close games that we didn't think would be close. Yale upsetting Auburn was the only game that I could see that where a strong team should have gotten that W. I had Auburn going very deep to play UConn in the Sweet 16, lose to UConn in the Sweet 16. Also, Baylor losing. Clemson, not that much of a sleeper, though. Strong basketball team, ranked six. It's a toss up on that game. Having Auburn lose to a 13 seed is way more of a shock to me than a 6 seed beating a 3 seed. Um, you know, uh, do Duquesne, Duquesne, how do you say it?
I think it's Duquesne.
Duquesne,
Or yeah.
upsetting BYU. I had that one in my bracket. I kind of saw that one coming. Illinois beating them down in the next round and going up against Iowa State. Iowa State, my pick, has looked very good for me so far. Took care of South Dakota State, moved on to play Washington State. I thought they were going to actually play Drake, so I was a little worried about that matchup, the 2-7. They were able to put an 11-point win together. They're going to take on Illinois. Illinois, I'm extremely surprised on. I know they were a 3 seed here in the tournament, but they are playing very strong. I thought they were more of a 6 seed, and they got ranked a little high for me personally, just on their overall record for the year and the wins that they have. They had strong wins, but not over, or a good amount of wins, but not strong wins over really talented teams. So I didn't know how they would play come tournament time against these teams that are really cutthroat and trying to play. So I think that game is going to might even go to overtime there. Illinois, Iowa State, it's going to be a good one. Um, you know, I can't I can't stop without talking about NC State though. NC State, the 11 seed, Cinderella run, still making it happen. Had a little bit of an easier path, I think, going beating Texas Tech. I knew that one was coming for sure. Um, but then going up against Oakland in the second round, still a very tight game. Came down to the wire. Oakland, I watched the last minute of that game. Oakland should have, if they made that pass down low to Townsend, he had 27 in the game at that point already, was going crazy. I had him under like 18 points in the game. He blew that out the water. Um, if they get that pass to him down low in the key and he gets up a shot, I think he hits it based on how he was shooting in that game and how lights out he was. And Oakland wins that game. They don't get the pass. It goes out of bounds. NC State misses the game winner, but wins it in overtime. Um, you know, uh, and now they're going up against Marquette. I picked Marquette to go to the Final Four in my biggest bracket. Going up against Houston. I got UConn and Iowa State. Um, I think Marquette puts an end to NC State's Cinderella run. I don't want it to happen. I just think Marquette's playing really good basketball at a really great time right now. I know NC State is, but I think they're on a, what, is it a 10 or 11 game run now of wins in a
Yep.
row? You
Yep.
know, had it in March Madness alone to get the 6 wins that you need to get the championship. That's extremely difficult. To put 5 or 8 before that together and win your own conference championship is damn near impossible. I think the run comes to an end against Marquette. Here's an interesting question: do you think we see a the same school winning the championship in both the men's and women's? You got UConn, you got Iowa State, going
No.
on both. You
No.
got,
No. No, absolutely not, bro. I have Creighton winning it all, bro.
I got you, but like, if Creighton doesn't win, you got the 1 seed over there. There's the UConn's a 1 seed, Iowa State's a
Bro,
2 seed, just like
bro.
they are over
Whoever
here.
comes whoever comes out of Creighton's bracket, like that side of the bracket, they're winning it all.
The one team in this Sweet 16 that we have going on right now that I really want to watch out for though are these San Diego State guys. Jadon Ledee, 32-8 in the first game of the tournament, 26-9 in the second game of the tournament. Dude is a walking bucket right now. I think if he can continue to keep it together the way that he's doing and play like that against UConn, I think they have a chance. If he doesn't play anywhere remotely like that, I don't think they have a chance. But just watch out for that 5 seed. UConn may be on upset alert. Moving forward, I don't have it picked that UConn loses that game, though. I do have UConn taking the dub, going up against Iowa State, beating Iowa State, moving on to the Final Four. I have UConn playing North Carolina. I have UConn winning that game, moving on to the championship. Over on the other side, I have Creighton making it out of their tough bracket, beating Tennessee. And then I think they're going to end up matching up against Purdue, who will beat Gonzaga. I think Creighton takes Purdue off, moves on and plays Marquette, who I have beating NC State and ending their run, and going up against Creighton. Though they won't make it all the way. I think Creighton beats Marquette, ends up playing UConn for the championship. I do think UConn takes the W. I think it's a close, mid-scoring game. 141 points scored in the game, I believe. Will happen. I think the final score is actually going to be 71-70.
Okay.
UConn.
All right. All right. That's a close ass game. All right.
Yeah.
Um, So I have a lot of things to say about March Madness so far. One of them is the team that I'm wearing, the team that I usually root for, the UNC Tar Heels. They are not impressing me at all this year. Barely making it out of the first round against the 16th seed is kind of, not a good thing for the sights to come in the rest of March Madness. They are part of the Sweet 16. Do I think that they're going to keep on going further and further? I do not believe so. I think that they're going to have a tough time getting out of their side of the bracket.
Did
Um,
you see that? Did you see that North Carolina had their starting five is the same age as the Oklahoma City Thunder starting five in the
I
NBA?
did see that. I did see
That
that.
is absolutely absurd, by the way.
Yep.
These men should be
Another.
running on these guys.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 110% with you. If it's a team that should be NBA ready, it should be this team, and they are downplaying every single game that they are in. So that's the reason why I think that UNC is not impressing me. Next thing I got, Gonzaga is as good as they always have been. They are a dangerous team, blowing out the last team that they went against to make it to the Sweet 16, and then after that, winning their first game as well. Gonzaga is legit. They need to be taken seriously. The next thing that I have is UConn is not a fluke. They are a clear number one seed in their side of the bracket. They are the team to beat in this year's March Madness, which I will get to at the end. NC State is also legit. They have to be taken seriously. They are an 11th seed, but they're playing like a 2 or 3 seed, and they are impressing every single person right now that has picked them. And even the people that have not picked them, they might be mad because their brackets are washed, but they are impressing everybody that is watching March Madness right now, and they are my pick for that side of the bracket, where
I
I
gotta get
have
a
them in the
Burns
Final
jersey,
Four.
dude. I gotta get a Burns
Correct.
jersey, dude. That
Correct.
dude's fucking sad.
Jack Golke, I don't think he's on Curry status. I don't think he's going to be a star in the NBA. His draft stock has risen. I do think that he has that Kyle Korver set where he's going to be a spot up shooter in the NBA, but his defense lacks, and it showed in March Madness when they lost the game. Um, Jared McCain from Duke is the clear number one pick for me. Lights out at the 3-point line, can drive, can dish, can play defense, can do everything on the court that you need him to do for the Duke to get further and further in this March Madness. I think that they are a very great pick for a winner in March Madness. I just don't see it happening, and I don't really see them getting into the Final Four either. I think their season ends at the Elite Eight. But Creighton had the best performance in March Madness so far. Double overtime against Oregon. Creighton's deadly shooters won them the game. All the guards, and not even just that, the center that wrapped it up for them as well. Creighton, they have their whole starting five can shoot the ball. Their whole starting five can pass really good. They have great ball movement. Their defense is great. I think that all around, plus the stamina that they have brought into the second overtime against Oregon, because me personally, I picked them to win a few of my brackets, and I thought that they were going to lose to Oregon because of the way that they were playing in the second half. But when they turned it on in overtime and double overtime, it was a sealed deal. Creighton was definitely going through. They have to. You have to look at this team as the deadliest team in March Madness right now, just based off of the stamina part. They will play for days and days for all they care. They have every single little thing that they need in a basketball team to get wins in a game like March Madness, because March Madness is not about one star or a big three. It's about your whole team. And right now, Creighton is the most standard option for a winner in March Madness. Uh, the last thing I have here, other than my predictions, Cousinard, the number 5 from Oregon, his draft stock has risen for me to top 5. The kid he's a straight up leader. He is a leader on this team. They rode with him. They died with him on the court. Unfortunately, he did get tired in the second overtime, which led Oregon to losing. But in that whole game against Creighton, he was the guy to keep him involved. He was the guy dishing it off to Dante, and he was the guy that when we needed a bucket, that's who you were going to. Cousinard, number 5, is top 5 for me. Evans, the power forward for Oregon, he has risen as well for me as a mid first rounder. I see him being like from pick 15 to 25. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in that range. He's going to be an underrated pick. He's going to move up in prospecting as we go further and get closer to the NBA draft. Dante, number 1. As much as he did on the court in March Madness, I still think that he is a mid to late first round pick. The reason why is because he cannot shoot. He can get buckets inside the paint all day. If that's what your team needs, then yeah, he's going to get picked. But as of right now, I just don't see it as a top 5, top 10 pick in the NBA draft right now. But I do think that his stock has risen from second round to mid to late first round. And then the last thing that I have, number 3, Shellstad from Oregon as well. I have him going mid to lottery pick first round. Dude can shoot. Dude can shoot. He doesn't have the height on him, but he can play defense. He's fast. He's lights out at the 3-point line. Fadeaways, regular shots, spot up shooting, whatever you need off the dribble. He's your guy to shoot the ball, and I like what I saw from Oregon. Now, when it comes to brackets, we went over the bracket that we had. I gave you the most terrifying bracket that I had with NC State winning. I do have a Final Four of UConn. I have Creighton, I have NC State, and I had Baylor in there, but Baylor ended up losing. But I still see my final 2 rising to the occasion. I do have Creighton versus UConn like you. I have different winner, though. I have Creighton winning by like a 5-point lead. I'm going to say 80 to 75, 80 to 73, somewhere around that. I do think it will be overtime win. But, with Creighton and the way that they're playing and the way that they're shooting lights out and the way that they got their defense and their stamina and their coaches ready to play the game, I just have the confidence in Creighton over UConn right now because UConn is that team that has 3 good players where Creighton is all around good. So, for me, that's what I have for March Madness.
You might have a point. UConn number 1 seed has all the pressure on them. Creighton number 3 seed, not crazy expectations for this team just to make a deep run. I don't think a lot of people. I think a lot of people had them in the Final Four. I don't know how many people really had them winning it all. They definitely look dangerous going forward. We're only halfway into this pretty much with all the games that we've played. We still have another half of this to go. With that being said, do you have a player in from the whoever's with the teams that are in the Sweet 16 and moving forward? Do you have a specific player that you want everybody to watch out for in these upcoming games, and that might end up leaving a legacy somehow through this tournament?
Yeah, like I said, Jared McCain, he's got to be looked out for. If Duke is going to win, it's going to be because this kid is shooting lights out and he's going to score 30 a night. If he doesn't score 25, 30 a night, then Duke isn't going to really make it far in my eyes. But with him controlling the game, that's probably the biggest impact for Duke right now, and that's probably the best way that they can win the game right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, for me, I got Burns from NC State. If he can continue what he's doing, I mean, 24, 11, and 4 against Oakland. They just pass the ball down low to him. He just catches it, posts up, works the defender. He's got great footwork. He bounces it right off the glass, knows how it's going to hit, bangs it in, just using the big body. He can get into foul trouble a little bit because he muscles them down there. Every video you see, it's like, yeah, I don't know how you stop that, man. The Purdue 7-footer is the only dude that I see that could actually really match up well to him. I think it's Eddie. And he's the only, they wouldn't match up till the Final Four, if anything. But I just don't see any team with a matchup favorable against Burns down low, and that's huge for the game. they can utilize that in the beginning, build a steady lead, then end up taking the shots throughout, use him back in the end. There's a bunch of different ways they could go about utilizing him down low. If he's scoring points like that, and he's not bad from the free throw line if he gets fouled, so it's not like you could just foul him and put him at the line. It's a hell of a matchup and a player that we need to watch out for. I think when he gets to the NBA too, if he can get maybe turn some of that weight into some more muscle, he could be a force to reckon with in the NBA for sure.
I 110% agree with you. Now, another thing that I do want to say is I can't pick a player because they all do their thing on the court, but another team to look out for, starting with the Sweet 16, if you haven't already been out looking for them, is Creighton. Creighton, their whole starting five, they work together flawlessly, and it's going to be a hard team to beat for any one seed or for any seed that is going to make it to the Final Four. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. I do just want to shout out Caitlin Clark in the women's tournament going on. If she gets 29 more points throughout this tournament for Iowa State, she breaks the single season scoring record in the WNBA. So shout out to her, always doing her thing. Iowa State expected to make a deep run too. I do have South Carolina winning it all in the women's
Who
league.
doesn't? Who doesn't?
Exactly,
Who
exactly.
doesn't? Their team,
So
after what they did to UNC, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to
yeah,
talk about
it's
it.
crazy. I'm thoroughly excited for what's to come. I think we might even go live this week for maybe a March Madness game on Thursday. I know I'm off. Uh, we might have the time to stream some live on TikTok. We'll have that link posted up. Uh, hell, I'm ready for more tournament.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's that time. Get excited. It's March Madness. We're here. This is the time to be a basketball fan, and you are watching here on Livezone Sports, where we are going to broadcast and talk about the games. So stay tuned.
And that's, follow us everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Consumption Network Sports, Live Zone Sports podcast on YouTube. Tag us, post us, comment, talk to us, write to us. We'll answer whatever is going on. We love to debate. Give us some great sports controversy questions, everything. We're looking to see what we can do. We want to interact with you moving forward. So, yeah. And thank you for your support as always. Like Livezone said, stay tuned.